Hey everybody, John from Movie Burners here, and today I'm going to be discussing a little film by the name of Spider-Man Homecoming. Of course, this is the first foray of Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I previously mentioned on podcasts that this is in my top 5 films of 2017. It's in there for a number of reasons, purely because it's a brilliant film first and foremost, and secondly because it is the first appearance of Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I feel that's quite a symbolic moment for the character going forward. The film itself also features the directorial talents of John Watts, and it also features the refreshingly energetic acting talents of Tom Holland. This is a fantastic action-packed film. It's got really a bit of everything. It's comedic moments and it's sheer unadulterated fun. Thankfully, it doesn't go down the route of trying to do an origin story for Peter Parker. We don't see any spider bites or stuff like that. Instead, it really just jumps into the action, focuses on him developing his talents and getting to learn the suit that obviously Tony Stark gives him. And in terms of the main villain, it features Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes, and it sets up the story of Homecoming really as a flashback, looking at the after effects of the first Avengers film and the alien invasion which happened, with Adrian Toomes trying to mosey on in with his salvaging crew and steal some alien technology, but he's soon warded off by Tony Stark's team and government officials. And then we get to see Spider-Man for the first time via a kind of a vlogging sort of a thing, showing the infamous airport scene from Civil War from a slightly different perspective. And before long, Peter's mentor in the film, Tony Stark, pops up as well, offering some pearls of wisdom and a shiny new suit for the web slinger to kickstart the action off. Now, it might not be a typical origin story, but Parker, who's staying with his Aunt Mary, played by the brilliant Marisa Tomei, is still very much maturing into an adult. I believe he's about 16 years old in this, and he's still trying to learn and feel his way around the whole superhero thing. There's a sequence early on with Blitzkrieg Bop playing so perfectly in the background, where he tries on the suit and tries to break up some criminal activity throughout the city, ends up stumbling into Adrian Toomes' crew as they are robbing a bank, meets the alien technology that they've obviously reverse engineered for themselves, and this really ends disastrously with the deli that he normally goes into for sandwiches and stuff like that getting destroyed with said alien technology. Now, there's a shy, almost underlying awkwardness to his personality, which was really offset by the extroverted alter ego that he masquerades as at night, and that manifests itself in the kind of a crush sort of a thing he's got going on with Michelle, played by Zendaya. And this budding on-off relationship pretty much fuels much of the events that transpire in Homecoming. There's a whole host of positives about this film, including absolutely beautiful visuals and CG, and well-handled fan service that really connects Parker in with the already established universe around him. I loved the humour in this film too. I thought the way it was organically introduced into the film was brilliant, and a good example of this is much of Stark's forays into the film, where he basically gives Parker a telling off most of the time, and on one occasion he's actually chilling on holiday while doing this, while his suit does the legwork for him. And Holland is brilliant in this film, I have to say. He's a key part in many of the comedic roles alongside Stark, and for me he's already eclipsed both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in this portrayal of the character. I thought Michael Keaton was also tremendous as Vulture. His career has been very resurgent of late, and this continues that renaissance, if you'd like. Having said that, if I was to have one criticism of this film, then it would be the lack of motivation behind Toomes and his crew, and the whole wanton lust for destruction they have in this film. I get that they were slightly peeved with Stark and the establishment really moseying in and forcing them to leave a profitable salvage operation that they were hoping to get in on, but their part in this film felt slightly neglected and a little rushed at times, and it certainly wasn't down to screen time, because they did have a fair amount of screen time, and there was plenty of focus on the Toomes character throughout, but it never really delved into his psyche, and it was more superficial in its implementation. But maybe that's still to come in future films, who knows. But despite that, I still thought Keaton did the character justice, and he was an ominous presence from start to finish. Downey Jr also had a massive presence in here despite having a relative cameo role. He's absolutely synonymous with the character of Tony Stark, and I'll be really saddened to see him leave the character when that happens. He plays a mentoring role in this film for the most part, via some sporadic appearances, and he obviously identifies Parker's huge potential to be an Uber Avenger, but also recognises the immature streak in him and a streak of impulsiveness as well, which at times threatens to be his undoing, which is perhaps why he implements training wheels in the new suit that he gives him, which of course Parker discovers not long after, hacks it, unlocks it, and nearly kills himself in the process. In the end though, I absolutely loved Homecoming. As I said, it's in my top 5 films of 2017. Spider-Man has always been one of my favourite superhero characters, and I have nothing but fond memories of the early 2000 films, which of course Tobey Maguire led. It's really great that Sony and Marvel have resolved their differences and have allowed this great character to enter into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a win-win for everybody, for the companies involved and for the fans as well. It's not a perfect film by any means though, I have to say. There is small issues, like the unnecessary secretiveness around the whole Mary Jane and Michelle thing and renaming the character. These are fairly unimportant though in the grand scheme of things, and they do nothing to impede my enjoyment of the film any, but they are slightly annoying nonetheless. But I really did love that the lack of backstory allowed the watch to dive right into the action, and the pace, which is often frenetic in this film, rarely dips throughout as a result. I don't think there's been a better post-credits scene in a Marvel film to date, and one that opens up so much possibilities going forward in future instalments. And the second one is really funny and well implemented, with Captain America continuing the running joke of his inspirational videos throughout the film to brilliant climatic effect. This is easily the best Spider-Man film since 2004 Spider-Man 2, but I do still rate Spider-Man 2 above the 2017 iteration. But with that said, I do highly recommend this film if for whatever reason you missed it during its theatrical release, because it's a great film and it thoroughly deserves a watching, and I'll be giving it a 4 out of 5. Remember guys, if you're enjoying the content we're putting out, then be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes, and give us a little follow on Facebook at Movie Burner Entertainment and on Twitter at Movie Burners. You can also catch up with all the latest reviews we're putting out at the Movie Burner blog on movieburnerentertainment.org. Until the next time, goodbye.